guys, welcome to tonight's episode of Q&A with Dr. A. Once again, we have a very special guest, Dr. Tiffany Bradley, joining us. We are answering some incredible questions, everything from things on like how to feel better, how to mentally change our life, meditation, to even some holistic therapies like Reiki, and looking into what various types of light do for us for healing. So you guys are in for a treat tonight. Don't forget, you get to author every episode, so scroll down below this video. Underneath it, you'll find a button you can click that says to submit your question to us. We answer them every Thursday at 7 o'clock live. And of course, if you look back to previous episodes, you can find some health information, or if you have a specific health question, you can always ask it and we'll give you a great health answer. As always, every week the Ask Dr. Ernst Show airs on 11:10 a.m., which is here in Charlotte at 3 o'clock, and you can even stream it on WBT.com if you're not in Charlotte. But guys, we have such great health information. The whole idea is it's free, it's for you, it's fun, and the whole intent is for you to become your own doctor. You need to activate your hidden health, and that's even one of the questions tonight is, how do we fix health? And so we're going to discuss a lot of that. So really quick first question, Dr. Tiffany, I know you wanted to take this one because it rings true to you.
That's true. This awesome first question is about meditation. It says, I've heard about meditation. How do I do it? Do I just sit quietly and that's it? Yes, but that's kind of it. That's not all of it. So if you're new to meditation, I would like to say to start out, you do find a nice quiet place free of interruption. And set a timer for maybe 10-15 minutes and truly just sit there or lie there and focus on your breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. And then you can count your breaths. You can count to 6 as you breathe in and then count to 10 as you breathe out. This is close to my heart because I've started meditating, and it truly has, it does change your life. And it's important to have a routine and try and do it every day, usually at the same time every day. And I want to say that if you've mastered breathing, then you can go on to the next step. And because thoughts will come in and they will distract you. And you have to remember that meditation is not necessarily clearing your mind of all thoughts. They will be there. It's going deeper beyond that. So it's like your thoughts are like turmoil or a tsunami in the ocean, right? And what you do is you learn how to bring your thoughts and your mind below that, because even though the waves are crashing and the tsunami is breaking on top, below the ocean on the surface floor, it's still calm. And that's the picture I want to paint for you when you get deeper with meditation. And then you graduate from there, and when you can, you start visualizing. You start doing visualization. There's great guided meditations on YouTube if you want to look those up. And you do what they say. They'll tell you to visualize, catch your thought and then release it. And it's a good practice to visualize, and then you can see yourself doing it, and then you practice releasing. So meditation can also calm you throughout your day as well as you practice it and get better at it.
And something that's really good about meditation is when you look at it from a health perspective, they've shown meditation helps with overall relaxation. It decreases anxiety. Mm-hmm. They've even done studies where people meditate and they can lower their heart rate, they can lower their blood pressure, they can get a sense of spiritual connectedness or well-being. I know we use meditation a lot as a means to just help us to get more energy, get more focus, get clarity. And believe it or not, many times you'll get answers to things you're looking for by those thoughts coming into the mind. So I love your analogy. You never let an ocean just be completely glass or still. It's always waves on the surface. But if you go deep, it's calm, it's quiet, and that's kind of what you want to do, is not get rid of the thoughts going on and not get rid of the mentality that constantly happens, but just learn how to control it by saying, I'm okay if a thought comes in and I'm okay if a thought leaves because I'm not connected to them and I'm not letting them run my life. And listen, meditation is something that some people take years to master. And we're not talking about like crossing your feet and levitating. We're talking about just quieting your mind so you can be in control and practicing the art of deep breathing, of lowering your blood pressure, of relieving your stress. And of course, all of those are fantastic for your health.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Next question, speaking of like things that are, out there, if we have to call it that, what are our thoughts on Reiki? And listen, Reiki is actually fantastic. It's a method of sort of energy healing, And I want to make sure I try my best. I'm not a Reiki master, I'm not a Reiki therapist, but the whole concept of it is based off the idea that we have 7 sort of centers of energy. They're known as your chakras. And so starting from your root, which is your first chakra, or your base, your core, the root chakra stems to the sacral chakra that stems to the solar plexus chakra, then the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. So we have these sort of points of energy. Some people will go as far as to say they are the points of different spirits or spiritual power in our body. And what a Reiki therapist will do is they work on sort of balancing those energy points. So if you go see a Reiki therapist, it's not like laying down and getting a massage where they sort of like, rub your muscles or your skin and using oils and things to that effect. A Reiki session is actually where they kind of work on you like this with energy. There's no touch. They're using their energy to affect your energy. Listen, I've had Reiki done on me. It's amazing. It works. It helped me when I was younger for my breathing issues. But you got to understand, it's definitely an art. It's a science that has no evidence behind it. You're not going to go find a published study that says Reiki lowers blood pressure, because it's really hard to quantify energy fields and energy work. But I've seen it work myself. I've seen it work with clients, with patients. We even have several Reiki therapists who are patients of ours. So just know it's about channeling energy from areas of deficiency into areas of excess, so you can cycle the energy through the body. And philosophically, it makes sense to me. I mean, if we're talking about balancing energy in the human body, we know that there's energy pathways. The spine's an energy pathway. We have your acupuncture meridians as an energy pathway. We have the chakras as an energy pathway. The body's about homeostasis, and just because we can't smell it, touch it, taste it, see it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So I'm thinking, like, if you're the type of person where you have a condition that's unresponsive to your traditional therapies, medication, physical therapy, chiropractic, massage, whatever, if you've got something that you're not getting a change in it, it's not going to hurt you to look into doing, like, say, some Reiki therapy or energy therapy or acupuncture. I mean, it works. And so I love it because it's all about letting your body heal by itself and about removing interference and letting energy flow. So Reiki's a good one, yeah.
The next question is, how can I reverse my type 2 diabetes? That is a big question.
Maybe that's like a whole seminar in and of itself. So I mean, we're not going to be able to get rid of diabetes tonight, but just know that it's doable.
Yes. There's a few steps, simply put, there's a few steps that you would want to follow when removing or reversing diabetes. First, you want to remove. The reason you want to remove sugar. Diabetics, sugar is an addiction, and it destroys the receptors on your cells for the insulin to attach to. So it's not just about cutting out processed foods or desserts. There are hidden sugars. They're in carbohydrates, they're in wheat, they're in grain, they're in things that are marked healthy in some stores. So
fruit, because,
yes.
And I don't want to steal your thunder,
no, you're right.
Most people don't realize that if you have diabetes and you want to get it to heal, you have to remove the sources of sugar from your diet first. And most diabetics that we work with will say stuff like, well, I put a half a banana in my smoothie for the morning. No, it has to be 0. Fruits have fructose, which is naturally occurring sugar that's very dangerous for a diabetic.
Absolutely. So you have to watch out and cut out all sugar. The next step is you want to replace.
So the thing is like, if you have diabetes and you want to get rid of it, we remove the sugar, but now we have to fix the receptor that got damaged in the first place. So in a nutshell, what happens is insulin's a hormone that binds to a receptor and gets the sugar out of the blood and into the cell. What most diabetics have a challenge with is they can't get the sugar out of the blood. And so as the sugar starts to climb, that's diabetes symptom, right? High elevated sugars in the blood. So the receptor is often damaged in most people. And what causes damage is the high sugar in the first place. Secondly, what causes damage is toxins and toxicities. Heavy metals, for example, can bind to the receptor and not let go. And so the receptor is usually damaged for most people. Most diabetics we work with don't have a diabetic hormone problem where insulin's not working. They have a receptor issue. So the challenge is it's a little hard to repair the receptors because the only way to repair them is to stop damaging them. So the reason we say you have to remove sugar is that allows the receptor to be repaired, but most people need to pull toxins out and chelate heavy metals, get tested to find what's causing the damage, and then fix the receptor.
And also the cell membranes are compromised as well. And cell membranes are made up of lipids and fats. And you have to replenish your cells by replenishing the cell membranes. Just as he was just saying, you want the sugar out and the good things in, right? You want oxygen in. And in order to keep your nutrition in, you have to have a healthy cell membrane. So we eat fats, but they have to be healthy fats like avocados, raw cheese, grass-fed meats such as beef, lamb, etc. Olives are high in fat as well. And have that to be about 70% of your diet when you're cutting out the sugar and you're replacing a lot of your diet with high fat for the health of your cell and your cell membrane to keep all.
Yeah, so if we had to say like what's the sort of diabetic reversal diet, it would be 0 sugar as much as humanly possible, then adding the healthy fats to allow for the repair of the receptors and the repair of the membrane, because when we fix the cell, then the sugar will transfer properly, insulin will work. And listen guys, we've seen this happen in as little as 3 to 4 days. We've seen it happen in as little as 2 to 4 weeks. So insulin issues, hormone problems, being labeled as a diabetic, all it means to us is there is an interference in the natural pathways of the body. Either you're bombarding it too much with your diet, or the receptors are damaged or the cell is damaged. So if you fix all 3 of them, it's pretty much a guarantee that you'll see a huge change within diabetes. Even if you've had it for like 50 years and you're taking medications, because again, the medication isn't addressing any of those. So it's remove, replace, repair, and there goes diabetes.
Excellent.
Yeah, so next question is a great one, right? It talks about how do we fix the healthcare system? And guys, yes, okay, we just had the political election. Let's hope the new president's going to make a change into this. But you have to understand, to ask how do we fix the healthcare system, or how does the government fix the healthcare system, or how does a person fix it, in my opinion, it's irreparable, because we technically don't have a healthcare system. What we have is a sickness care system. So think of it like this. Our whole idea behind insurance, behind doctor's visits, behind Medicare, Medicaid, all of it is just who pays for all of it, right? So we're all going to end up paying for it anyway. But if you dump more money into a system that's geared off of wait till you get sick, take something to cover it up, cut something out when you have it, it's too bad. It's a retroactive. It's kind of waiting until there's too much of a problem to fix it. So I don't ever look at that as health. Health to me would be you never get sick, you never get diabetes or blood pressure problems. So we have a sick care system based off the idea that let's wait till you get sick and then you take this for that, you swallow this for this, or you do this surgery for that. And the reason it costs so much is it's very expensive to just manage disease. So I look at it as like the only way to fix it is for you to realize you are your healthcare system. Nobody else is going to do it but you. So we have to look at like, okay, what do we need to do for you to get healthy? Some of you need to get the right tests done. Some of you need to drastically change your diet. Some of you need to get adjusted, clear the nerve system, stress out. Some of you need to start meditating. Some of you need to just start doing something for yourself rather than going, I'll just take a pill for that. So if we look at it as this, guys, Hippocrates once said, food is supposed to be your medicine and medicine should be your food. So I do believe there's a lot of medicinal qualities behind the foods we eat. So if I'm going to say how do you become your own healthcare provider, you've got to clean your diet out. Number 1, get tested to know if you're eating the right foods. Number 2, we have to recognize that even for you to swallow food, for the peristalsis to take place, for your stomach acid to churn, for anything inside of your body to work, you have to have an integrated energy system. Reiki to unblock it, chiropractic to unblock it, meditation to start focusing better. So it's a holistic approach to your health. And listen, the reason it's not going to change is there's not a lot of profit in you being your own doctor. I mean, how much does it cost for you to sit at home for 10 minutes and meditate and quiet your mind and lower your own blood pressure? Nothing.
Free, yeah.
It's free, but it requires your time and your energy. So we're not going to ever see, no candidate's going to do it, no policy's going to do it, no political campaign's going to say, I have the solution for healthcare. I mean, I hate to say it, we've been trying to change healthcare every cycle as we get new presidents, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Maybe, hopefully, the whole thing will crumble and we'll be forced to take care of ourselves. That's how we fix healthcare.
Yes, it's to be your own doctor. The next question we have is, if the season, it's getting colder, the season's changing, and I feel the seasonal depression creeping in. What can I do to prevent that? Great question. first thing I'll say is get a sun lamp. They're like $20 on Amazon. A sun lamp is going, because of daylight savings, you're getting less sun, and sun does make people happy. Not only does it have light,
yeah.
and not just the vitamin D, but the actual light, the natural light. So the best thing you can do in that scenario is get the sun lamp, have it in your house, and have more sun in your day to day. Next thing is go.
You know, it's the same thing though, right? So if we want more sun, then we have to go to bed earlier, especially now. I mean, the time just changed, so it's like 6 o'clock. It's pitch black out. So if you're staying up until 11 o'clock when it's pitch black, you're losing the light stimulation. And when we talk about being out of depression, there's something amazing about being in the light versus in the darkness. And depression has been labeled as a dark sensation, a gloominess, a cloud, etc. So we get out of the darkness and into the light, you're going to have to go to bed earlier, especially right now. I mean, I know it's hard. 8 o'clock and it's pitch black. Do I go to sleep? Yes. Because then what you can do is you can get up at 5 or 6 when it's starting to be bright, and you're letting the light give you the natural antidepressive therapies that light gives us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just natural to be guided by the natural light happening within the earth. Next, plenty of vitamin D. Again, vitamin D is linked to diseases. Low vitamin D is linked to diseases. It's linked to cancers, linked to MS, linked to depression itself. So supplement with vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 is the natural component of vitamin D. You don't want to take the vitamin D2 because that is more synthetically made. Definitely vitamin D3, supplement if you have to, keep your sunlight lamp, and then plan vacations for summer and spring. Like, mentally prepare yourself, be excited for something upcoming in the springtime, in the season of new life, of new, it's a season to where you can look forward to that and have your mental state, along with meditation, be amped up and yet not depressed and not in the darkness.
And to talk to this, what you'll notice a lot of it is getting more light, getting more vitamin D, and preparing your mind. But when you look at when people start to get depressed, it's generally right now, because we just lost an hour of light. And believe it or not, November, December, January, February, the amount of light that passes through the earth to generate natural vitamin D is almost non-existent. I think it's been said if you're at a point above, say, North Carolina, South Carolina border, during the winter season, there is no UV light that produces vitamin D in the skin. So even if you go outside right now and it's 65 degrees or 70 degrees, you're not getting natural vitamin D production. So there's ever more time. Right now is when you need to be supplementing. 10,000 units for an adult is a great supplemental point because it helps with depression, it helps with your immunity, it helps you to heal, and it's definitely needed during the winter season.
And for your immune system.
Yeah. So last question for the night says, do we foresee any sort of health consequences for people using technology? And guys, as a chiropractor myself, I'm going to say yes. There's what's known now as the text neck syndrome. It's the idea that we spend almost our whole day with our heads down, just staring at appliances. It's not an appliance; it's a device, right? So all day looking down at screens. And what's funny? If you're an adult, or you're, I'm going to say 27, 28, 30 years or older, just watch your kids or watch the kids today. I mean, literally, it's not just down, but it's like this for hours on end. So mentally and for your health, it destroys your spine. Secondly, there's something very unique about all electronic devices. They emit something that's known as blue light. And what's very unique about your eyeball is this. UV light damages the front of the eyeball. So the cornea, the pupil, the iris. So people that have cataracts generally have them because there's too much inflammation in their body. There's UV damage to the cornea and the lens. So we start to see damage on the front. Blue light, however, the light that comes off of all electronic devices that have LED screens or backlit screens, doesn't affect the front of the eyeball. It goes deep into the back of the eyeball. So we're looking at things like the retina, the actual nerve root itself, the choroid, which is the kind of a posterior solution, the fluids around it. And so what happens is blue light goes so deep into the eye, it can damage the posterior aspects. So we have macular degeneration as an effect. And blue light is extremely excitatory to the nerve root. The reason this is dangerous is if you're watching on your laptop a movie at 9 o'clock at night, the amount of blue light coming out of this is so excitatory that it stimulates the optic nerve to think that it's like 5 in the morning. And so that's why a lot of us have such a hard time with, I can't sleep at night. I'm so tired during the day, but I can't sleep at night. It's the blue light exposure. So I want to show you guys something. This is my laptop, and first of all, are we zoomed in on it? Just tell me when we're there. Okay, so first of all, as you guys can see, this is a Harvard study showing how dangerous blue light is. And they're going to talk about how blue light has a dark side. It's a damaging effect to your body. But I've installed an app for my laptop that will actually filter out all blue light based upon the time of day. So the app will know, you say what time you go to bed, and it'll start to regulate the blue light emitted off of this, so that if it's, say, your bedtime is 10 o'clock, naturally by 6 o'clock it starts cutting blue light out. By 7 o'clock, almost all the blue light's gone. By 8 o'clock, there's 0 blue light, so that you can't get that negative stimulation. And the one I installed is called Flux, F.lux. And I'm just going to show you, and hopefully you can see it on the screen, that I'm going to turn this on so that you can see what it will look like. So we're zoomed in, we're good. 3, 2, 1. When I click this, note how zhoosh, it went to kind of like a tannish, sepia-toned, brownish effect. Right now, there's no blue light emitting out through the screen. And guys, you can do this on your iPhones, on your iPads. You can install apps on your computers. Absolutely essential, because number one, we don't want the blue light to damage our eyes, and number two, we don't want it to offset our sleep cycles. So how does that affect our health? So much so, and even more so than we know, because there's stuff everywhere. And I do want to talk, just since we have like a minute or two, technology isn't just the things you're using, it's what you're being exposed to. So even while I sit in this office broadcasting this to you, there's Wi-Fi signals, there's 4G, LTE, Bluetooth, they're all over the place. And they're now discovering that the cross interactions of all of these electronic signals are interfering with the electrical frequencies of the human body. And guys, when you think about it, we are one massive battery. We generate our own energy, and if we have outside sources interfering with our energy, we can have what's known as wireless syndrome or Bluetooth sickness, or these things that are starting to emerge. The only way to combat it, in my opinion, is to get yourself away from electronic devices, which unfortunately today is near impossible. If you live in an apartment complex, chances are you've got 16 Wi-Fi signals. So even if you cancel your internet and you throw out all the electronic devices, you're still being bathed with it. So what I want you to look into is something that's known as earthing. It's the idea that every night you either connect yourself to a sheet to discharge your electrical energies in the negative ions, or you go outside for a walk barefoot. We've talked about earthing before on one of our episodes, but earthing is by far the best way to decrease technology's Bluetooth, wireless, just interference that creates damage into our bodies. So with that, guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you each and every week with Q&A with Dr. A. Don't forget, we're here on WBT every Saturday at 3 o'clock for the Ask Dr. Ernst show. And of course, we have various events coming up. I believe we have our next event coming up is on the repair of your microbiome. It's like 2 days away, so it's Thursday tonight. You have just tonight and tomorrow to register. Right now, we're at about 90% capacity, so if you scroll below, you'll see some information on how to register for that. That event is on how to fix your intestines, acid reflux, leaky gut, irritable bowel. If it has something to do with digestion, we're going to show you how to correct that. And as long as you sign up for it right now, the cost is nothing. So guys, thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you each and every week. Dr. Tiffany, thanks. Yeah, bye.